What's your name?
Worry.
Okay, and you talked with some relatives yesterday.
Yep. I talked to them about someone coming all the way from overseas to look at the United Church in our village, Hanobara.
Yep.
So yeah.
As a boy, I guess I knew Papua New Guinea people and things kind of formed part of the background of my childhood. You know, there were stories about Riley Sampson being the only guy that could put me to sleep as a baby when I was, crying my head off. My mum could pass me to him and, exasperated. And, within 30 seconds, I would have quietened down and be asleep in his arms. And I can remember having a shell on my bedhead. And I knew my aunt, Daphne, had been in PNG during the 60s. She came back to Australia when I was just a little boy, and she was always very close to our family. And I knew my grandfather and grandmother lived there for a time. I suppose I never really thought that much about it. My name's Steve, and I'm working with Save the Children on a joint venture looking to develop commercial projects that are going to help bring the benefits of education to people, particularly in developing countries. And I had an opportunity to travel to Papua New Guinea.
On that first day, the guy who picked me up from the airport,
What's his name?
Vare. Yeah, when Vare picked us up, we were chatting, and I was telling about about grandpa and grandma, and I mentioned Hanua, and he said, "That's where I live. I can take you there if you're interested." Like, seriously, the first person I meet in PNG.
Now they're going their direction, maybe cooking fish.
And I mean, the awesome thing was, he worked for Save the Children, so he was our driver. So we'd arranged the next morning that he would take me out.
Good morning. Good morning, John. In our language, we say Daba Namona.
Daba Namona.
Namona. That's good morning.
Good morning. Right there in the hill.
That's it. That's the church, the Methodist church, the yellow one there. Yeah.
Wow, that's where my grandfather lives.
Bara is big.
Oh, right.
So,
Big village.
Yeah, big village. That's the meaning of Hanobara.
Has there ever been a fire?
Yeah, there was a fire. I'll show you the spot as we go along.
It's okay to go down here?
Yeah. Just watch your step. The little kids in the fall down. Look, they all used to.
Yeah, they grow up like that.
It's hard to put a name to the feeling that you have, retracing your grandparents' steps in a place you've never been to, but they spent so many days in their life. The experience is kind of like you're suddenly connected through time.
So the soldiers built some of this during the war?
Only the front.
Only the front, so this is very old.
Grandpa was a minister, but he was also a teacher. In fact, he was the principal at the school here. And his work carried an unexpected legacy.
Just up the hill.
Just up the hill, yeah. So here's the regional office, you see. We're going to... Well, na tupuna guna ini kaya di bawah.
Oh, India, LMSD.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
In the 1930s, until 1941.
With that White House,
Right.
White House is
Yeah.
all that area they were there.
So my grandfather was Norman Watts, and he was a minister with the London Missionary Society. He was the headmaster of the school just here, and also he was responsible for helping the London Missionary Society establish schools around Port Moresby. It's amazing to me that when I showed some of those old photos, people instantly went, "Oh, I know where that is. That's just around the corner from there. And that's the church building, and the school was there."
One of the boys my grandfather taught was named Ravu, and he grew up to become the first native bishop of the United Church in Papua New Guinea.
He was friends with my grandfather his whole life.
Because his work is also about education, taking education into the next level.
You can see the town of Hanuabada in the background there. There's the new church.
So with each of the meetings that I had with, say, the children and other people, I would introduce myself and tell the story of my grandfather and the school and his special student, Ravu Hanau. Until in one meeting, something quite unexpected happened.
Darren, the Irish guy who I was talking to, just put up his hand and said, "Stop, just wait 30 seconds." And I was sitting there and had no idea what was going on. And he walks in the door with a Papua New Guinean guy, younger guy, and I just look at him and go, "No way. Who are you?" He says, "Hi, I'm Michael." "Uh-huh. Was your dad Luani?" "Yes." And I said, "Wow, my grandfather was your grandfather's school teacher and lifelong friend." Yeah. I really wasn't sure who was going to turn up for dinner, and Michael was terrific. He picked me up, but he kind of volunteered that his dad was going to be there, so I was so excited that I was going to meet Loney. And then I get into the restaurant and there's like 25 people sitting down. And he says, "This is a small part of my family."
Yeah, absolutely. There are 8 kids.
So yeah, look, he was thrilled to see the photos that you sent through. And, yeah, one of his daughters was quite emotional to see the picture of Ravi in the coconut, because she had, memories of her grandfather.
Your mother didn't want to send that.
No, they
She
loved
thought
it.
it was disrespectful to a bishop.
It was humbling to meet Luani and his wife and sister and children and family. All very successful, important people in Papua New Guinea, and they have their own stories which aren't for me to share here. But I guess while I was there and since, I've been reflecting on how powerful education is. Its opportunities in education have changed my life, and not without risk and complication, but honestly something so simple as my grandfather being in a position to teach Luani's father how to read and write and so many important skills, for him then to have 8 children who, have all had their own impact in the world, and there's a legacy. That's inspiring.
Do you have photos of you as a child? I've chosen some. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So when you connect back to the internet, it refreshes all of the content, updates all the discussions. But if you go offline, you can keep interacting with your middle course and content.
This year, only about 4% of the young people in Papua New Guinea of Year 12 age will actually have an opportunity to study. creating those educational places and opportunities it's a major challenge in PNG.
The teachers are the ones that sometimes are more scared of the technology than the kids, right? We've got to work with them. And we need to find the ones that are willing to try and encourage them to tell their stories.
The joint venture I'm involved in is proposing a blended capital model. We want to partner with corporations and businesses, as well as governments, to open up some of these new educational options using technology.
I guess I'm really here to kind of elevate the conversation and really kind of encourage everyone with the vision that these online learning systems can open up access to education in a way that is much faster and cheaper than building schools. Not that we shouldn't try and build schools, but we should try and do everything we can to create educational opportunities. I think with that, we might have to wrap it up.
I think we might. So thank you so much for coming along today. It's very exciting.